NFL Today update. Let's head to New York. JB and Boomer.
Boomer beginning to be an Eagles habit. They're at it again this week. Here comes James Casey. He's going to block the punt of Johnny Hecker. And Chris Maragos is going to pick it up, a 10-yard touchdown return for the Eagles 2 weeks in a row. The way they start the game, tremendous on special teams.
New York. JB and Boomer.
Dan Fouts will appreciate capping a long drive.
Well, Eli Manning picking up where he last left off. Now he's against the Washington Redskins a couple Thursday nights ago. His 10th touchdown pass of the season, that time to Reuben Randall.
Today update. JB and Boomer.
Falcons answer the Giants.
Yeah, that's how you respond to a touchdown. You hand it to your big tailback, Steven Jackson. He's going to follow his young offensive line into the end zone. Falcons tied up 7-7 on a 10-yard run by Steven Jackson.
62 yards. That one fumble, though, was absolutely critical 4 times now. But this type of company that he's attempting to keep is awesome.
5-yard pickup brought down by Carr. Well, first team to call themselves the Texans were in 1952. The Dallas Texans, a member of the NFL's National Conference. That team went 1-11. This is video from their lone win. It came against the Chicago Bears. The team folded after just the 1 year. The Texans. Let's go to JB and Boomer.
Tony Gonzalez sang the praises of this guy.
He did. Anton Smith doing his best imitation of Lionel Little Train James there, Danny Fouts. He's going to go 74 yards after a missed tackle by Antrell Roll. Where are the rest of the Giant defenders? Nowhere to be found. Falcons take a 10-point lead, 20-10 over the Giants.
Fouts appreciates those dust-offs. Ian and Dan and Jenny. Dallas 4-1 for the first time since 2008. Let's take you to Baltimore at Indy. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, and Brad Johansson.
You may want to go after.
No timeouts. 4th and 3.
Got him.
He sure does. Looking for Smith. And tipped away by Toller. Oh, what a play. On downs it goes back to the Colts with a big-time defensive play by Greg Toller from Hyattsville, Maryland.
Well, they got the matchup that they wanted, and a little bit better throw here by Joe Flacco. Torrey Smith actually has to slow up just a tad, and it's enough for Toller to be able to make a play.
Just by the skin of his nail.
Well, they got the matchup that they wanted.
This is it. Victory formation. 4 turnovers for the Colts, 3 turnovers for the Ravens. Baltimore's 3-game winning streak.
J.J. Watt, look what he's done since he came into the league. Most sacks, most run stuffs, most in the league batted passes. He has 1 tonight.
Yep.
Up 4. How about Ryan Fitzpatrick? Started out with the Rams coming out of Harvard, got traded to the Bengals, and then was a starter at Buffalo, got a big contract there, ended up with the Titans, and now, of course, the Texans quarterback. Starter for 5 different teams. 3rd time as a pro that Luck has played in this building, played here during some Texas State High School playoff action.
Wow.
Stratford High School was his home school, played at this beautiful Tully Stadium on the west side of Houston.
That's how he plays in the NFL. Moves, throws, runs over a few people, bounces off of them.
Maybe Mo Presley was the valedictorian.
For the first time today with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
Panthers and Bengals tied with 2 ticks left in overtime, but Cincinnati's Mike Nugent misses what would have been a game winner from 36 yards out. We have our first tie of the season, 37-37, Carolina and Cincinnati. Tom. Coming up on the Visa halftime, Aaron Rodgers leads the pack to a last-second comeback. We've got an overtime thriller in Cincinnati. The Browns make a statement against the Steelers. We'll make sure you get caught up on the busy Sunday at the half.
25 years ago today, the Herschel Walker trade, engineered by Jimmy Johnson. Largest player trade in the history of the league. 18 players and draft picks. Herschel Walker to Minnesota. Emmitt Smith, Alvin Harper, Russell Maryland, all part of the draft picks that came the other way. That was the first season of ownership by Jerry Jones. And with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
Raider rookie quarterback Derek Carr had 4 touchdown passes on the season coming into the game against San Diego. He's got that many today, 2 to Andre Holmes. And the Raiders trying to pull an upset, 28-24, looking for that first win of the season.
Who can forget the divisional playoffs? Back in 2006, Tony Romo could not handle the snap on a 19-year-old field goal try to tackle made by Jordan Babineau. And the Cowboys lost by 1, and look who raised the flag for the 12th man today, Jordan Babineau.
You're watching NFL Thursday Night Football.
I've decided to resign as the head coach of the New York Jets.
Oh, does he hit? Brady in charge.
I never came here to kiss Bill Belichick's, rings.
And the Jets are going to go to the AFC Championship game.
Can't wait. He ran right to the back of Brandon Moore. Are you kidding me?
A little sampling behind the scenes with ends the return. And the headlines in New York, none of it pleasant for this football team. The saga out in San Diego with the missed meeting on the eve of that game against the Chargers. Win or else, some are saying.
Well, that's the name of the game in this league, isn't it? Win or else. You gotta. It's been a couple years since the Jets have been in the playoffs.
Of course, Revis is so remembered for what he did as a member of the Jets. He was the 14th overall pick out of Pittsburgh in the 07 draft. 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. A torn ACL his last year in New York, and then just couldn't come to terms on a big contract. He had 1 year down in Tampa, free agent again this year.
He's perfect for Rex Ryan's defense. That's why they did so well the first couple of years. Rex Ryan likes to blitz, do some unique things.
By the way, that one playoff game in 34 years, Bump Phillips brought the Houston Oilers in here. The 1978 divisional game. Dante Dan Pastorini threw 3 touchdowns. Got to Kenny Burroughs, and Earl Campbell was over 100. And that was it. One playoff game in, well, 3.5 decades at home. 53-yard punt. Hey, it's Throwback Thursday, and tonight we remember Jim Nance. What a career he had in a life that was far too short. Passed away back in 1992. The fullback, part of that whole Syracuse connection, legendary backs. He had 5,400 career rush yards. Throwback.
Los Angeles, Kurt.
Well, after Kirk Cousins had 2 first-half turnovers, Washington turned to Colt McCoy to start the second half. His first pass, a 70-yard score to Pierre Garçon. Washington on top of Tennessee early in the fourth quarter, 16-10. Kenny Moose and Goose.
2 days after the trade of Percy Harvin to the New York Jets. Began his career in Minnesota, 4 seasons with the Vikings. Then it was on to Seattle. Played in only 1 game during the regular season last year, but had the huge kick return to start the second half of the Super Bowl. His numbers this year, and then the trade on Friday.
Welcome to the State Farm Game Break Show.
As we welcome you to the Game Break Show, we're going to get you to the conclusion of New Orleans and Detroit. Saints once led this game 17-3. Right now, it's 23-17. Lions with the football. 2 minutes left. We'll get you out there just as soon as they get back from a break. But, Jimmy, let's talk about this game in which New Orleans had all the momentum, but defensively really Detroit got back in this ballgame.
Yeah, and the pressure on Drew Brees, and Brees throwing the interception there at the end, gave him the chance, gave Detroit the chance to go ahead and take it back and get the lead.
And also the big play to Golden Tate, a little route. Then you got him lined up on the side. He's another guy who's not supposed to be that fast, but runs away from everybody. But a big play gave him some momentum, then a pick took him over the edge.
They miss him in Seattle.
Yeah, they could use him right now. We will see if he works to the Lions' favors. Once again, the final 2 minutes from Detroit, Chris Myers, Rondé Barber, and Jen Hall.
Sellout crowd ready for football at AT&T Stadium. And we welcome you to America's Game of the Week. The 3-3 New York Giants in town to take on the red-hot 5-1 Dallas Cowboys. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman and Carissa Thompson. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome to America's Game of the Week, where the Cowboys are rolling. They won 5 in a row for the first time under Jason Garrett. They're 5-1 for the first time since 2007. And today, Troy, they face a Giants team it's very hard to figure. They won their 3 in a row after dropping the first 2 of the season, then shut out against Philadelphia, and now today without Victor Cruz and Rashad Jennings.
Yeah, well, they didn't just lose last week, Tom. They got embarrassed. And we had a chance to talk with Tom Coughlin yesterday, and he was still seething about that performance. I don't expect a repeat here this afternoon. Now, what I do expect is for the Giants to get back to doing what they've been known to do, and that is run the football. They're facing a run defense in the Dallas Cowboys that has given up a lot of yards. So expect them to run the ball. That will also help their own defense and keep Tony Romo on the sidelines.
Speaking of the sidelines, let's check in downstairs with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Tom. It's already loud in here, but Odell Beckham Jr. will be asked to step up in a big way in the absence of Victor Cruz. Good news, him and Eli Manning have a relationship that goes back years. In fact, they went to the same high school, and Beckham's coach, when he was a sophomore, asked Eli to come and work with this young kid, said, hey, you'll be working with him in the NFL someday, and as luck would have it for the Giants, the two are now playing together, and definitely going to be an important game in that important relationship.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Play of the Day.
With 7:24 remaining in the second quarter, Seattle's John Ryan punts the ball to the Rams, who pull off a trick play, making it appear that Tavon Austin was fielding the ball when actually Stedman Bailey caught it across the field. He returns the punt 90 yards for the score. Bailey's first career punt return for a score, 21-3 Rams.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Now let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
All right, Kansas City running back Jamal Charles passed Priest Holmes for the franchise's all-time rushing lead on this run. More importantly, though, the 16-yard scamper tied the game with San Diego at 7. Of course, Tom and Troy, San Diego has won 5 in a row, just like the Cowboys.
One of the all-time greats in the history of the Cowboys and the NFL. Grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, went to the Naval Academy where he won a Heisman Trophy, was a veteran of the Vietnam War, and then 11 years with the Cowboys, 2 Super Bowls, went into the Hall of Fame in 1985, the great Roger Staubach. And I know you have great admiration for him, as always, here at the game today.
Well, he's a great man, and he's the greatest Cowboy of them all.
Speaking of halftime, the rapper Pitbull announced on Friday night at his concert in Dallas that he will be the halftime entertainment for the Cowboys Thanksgiving game.
We will be here at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium putting it down for Thanksgiving.
104th meeting. You go back to last year, this was such a dreadful Cowboys defense in 2013, and many wondering, would this be the worst defense in the history of the NFL? It was the worst in Cowboys history last year. Then they get into the injury to Sean Lee after you lose Jason Hatcher and DeMarcus Ware. Yet here they are under Rod Marinelli, and they have been a solid defensive team.
All right, Tom, Arizona trying to grab a commanding lead of the NFC West after Seattle lost earlier today. Of course, San Francisco plays Denver tonight. Stephon Taylor, 4-yard run. 21-13, Arizona over Oakland right now. Tom, Troy, and Carissa.
Aiken. So the line of scrimmage is now the 33-yard line. They put 9 seconds on the clock. Baltimore still needs a chunk of yards just to give Justin Tucker an opportunity here.
And if they're looking at it that way, they have to throw the ball deep and to the sideline. And again, Torrey Smith not in the game. Got Jacoby Jones and Aiken to the far side.
Dan, they would need about 27 yards to get off a 58-yard try in that area. Flacco throws it. It's complete. He's got Kamar Aiken, but the clock is rolling, and it's over. The San Diego Chargers have come from behind to knock off the Ravens 34-33. Baltimore runs out of time at home.
Well, the tackle by Justin Flowers keeps Aiken from getting out of bounds. Beautiful throw by Flacco, but there is Flowers on Aiken's back, and he bounces on the ground before he crosses the out-of-bounds line. Great tackle by Flowers.
Brought down on the green. Brandon Flowers. They did not test him very often today, and there's a reason why. One of the top corners in the game, and he just made an immense tackle for San Diego to end it. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers rally to improve to 8-4 on the season. The Ravens dropped to 7-5 in the very competitive AFC North. Final score 34-33 San Diego. Don't forget game 2 of the doubleheader is coming up. The Patriots and the Packers. For Dan Fouts and Jenny Dell, I'm Ian Eagle. So long from Baltimore, the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
But this is some matchup here. Brady and Rodgers for the first time starting against one another. Then you have the duo of Revis and Browner, and what will they do with Nelson and Cobb? And then, of course, you've got a pair of coaches, each of whom have won Super Bowls. You talk about Aaron Rodgers. I was mentioning it's been 2 years since he last threw a pick at home. Look at his career touchdown to interception ratio, best of all time, and Brady is second.
Yep, how about that? You know, they both learn to play. They go to the edge where they can use their skills, but they never take unnecessary chances. And Aaron Rodgers, accurate thrower, and if he doesn't like what he sees, he just moves around.
5 letters here for everybody out there in Packerland. RELAX. Relax.
That is classic Belichick right there. At halftime, we go down to Tracy with Coach McCarthy.
Thanks, Jim. Coach, 347 total yards in that first half. You expected this coverage. How have you been able to mix it up, though, to have success there?
Well, we're just running our offense. Aaron's doing a great job keeping us in clean plays. You know, we're just trying to spread the ball around, go through the reads.
How about defensively? What have you liked from your team in the first half?
Well, you know, the stops early were good. We got tackled better, and obviously Gronkowski's been a problem for us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, thank you, Tracy. New England will receive the second half kickoff. Through 2 quarters, Green Bay leads it 23-14. We're back with the Verizon halftime report after this message. And a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Some wild action earlier today. How about the Chargers? The Superchargers 10 down on the road in the 4th and rally to beat the Ravens. They'll host New England next Sunday. And the Saints 0-3 on a 3-game homestand. Go on the road, win at Pittsburgh. How do you figure? J.J. Watt caught another touchdown today as the Texans took out some frustration on the Titans. An update on Arizona and Atlanta. Back to JB in New York.
Julio paced the Falcons.
And what a day he had, JB. 10 catches, 189 yards, 1 touchdown. Atlanta goes to 5-7. Arizona falls to 9-3.
Back to Jim, Phil, and Tracy.
By the way, next Sunday, the NFL on CBS, regional games, one matchup. The Steelers and the Bengals. The Bengals, the only team in the AFC North to win today. What a finish that was down in Tampa. They got a 1.5 lead now over Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Plus other regional action. Plus, of course, the NFL today leads it off at noon Eastern time as you look at the latest AFC playoff picture. New England right now in the 1 position, having already beaten Denver, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis, the other 3 division leaders.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Play of the Day.
11:26 remaining in the second quarter with the Rams on their own 11. Quarterback Sean Hill hands the ball off to Trey Mason, who outraces the Raiders' Charles Woodson and DJ Hayden. 89-yard touchdown, the Rams' second longest rushing touchdown in franchise history. That score puts St. Louis up 28-0.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Sunday Night Football brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Verizon, get the good more with our best deals this holiday season. By the all-new Kia Sedona. And by Bud Light, stay in the game and drink responsibly. Earlier this week, there's Mark Sanchez. On Monday, the Eagles hosted their annual holiday party for local kids who are dealing with family hardships. And Mark Sanchez, who took over as the quarterback, be perfect on the road this season. 6-0, 32.2 points a game. Only Indy scoring more per game on the road. And look at Tony's numbers. 15 touchdowns, 1 interception on the road this season. And DeMarco Murray, who's been great home or road, 130 yards per game. Only Arian Foster of the Texans with more road yardage. Mark Sanchez, and you know about Mark, years with the Jets, selected 5th overall in 2009. Sanchez, he was known there, started the AFC Championship games as a rookie and a second-year guy. He won 4 playoff games. Then he missed the entire 2013 season with a shoulder injury. 3-2 as the Eagles starting quarterback. They let him go in March. He signs here. Philly let Mike Vick go, and he signed with the Jets. Offensive line has done such a great job protecting Romo and Murray, so they get a little bit of love. Tony sends them all Louis Vuitton travel bags.
Better than that, they get gifts. Right. Hold the love. Give me something.
Yeah.
That's the way the offensive linemen work.
They're sending the Air Jordans, iMac computers from DeMarco Murray.
Let's go back to Thanksgiving Day and how Tony Romo looked in that one. Clearly, he didn't take the shot. You can see he could get nothing into that, threw some floating interceptions. Tonight, he's been much sharper, crisper. You see a little bit more torque on those throws, driving it out of there. He is going to be needed now. Goes to Jason Witten, goes to Des Bryant, and has something started with this drive.
Warning, Murray for the season leads the league by plenty. This disaster strikes. He's going to wind up leading it. Running down records for him. Emmitt Smith at 1773, so he's bearing down on that. Might get it next week at home against Indy. Of course, you had Eric Dickerson for 21:05. That would be your mark that's held since the early 80s. 466, best career 3-game stretch.
First New York update with JB and Mark Scott.
Brady with a pinpoint pass.
Yes, indeed. He's going to find Rob Gronkowski for a 3-yard score. Rob Gronkowski's 12th TD catch of the year. New England up 7-0.
And New England clinches a first-round bye with a win. Back to Andrew, Steve, and Steve.
Crest presents 2 Minutes to Victory. In Week 14 at Cleveland, in one of the year's best 2-minute drills, the Colts were at their own 10, down by 5 with time running out. Quarterback Andrew Luck led the Colts down the field. Boom Herron made a key 4th-down conversion, and T.Y. Hilton caught the game-winning touchdown with 32 seconds left. Go pro with Crest Pro Health at home or on the field for a successful 2-minute drill every time.
Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Bill, your thoughts on the way your offense is playing, led by Case Keenum here so far?
He's done a nice job, and it's just one half of football. You know, it's the NFL, so we got to regroup here at halftime, come out and finish the game.
And so far, your defense pitching the shutout. What do you need to see in the second half from your defensive front seven, especially J.J. Watt?
Yeah, they've done a nice job, you know, and again, it's only one half of football, so we got to go in there at halftime and make some adjustments and understand that Baltimore's going to make some adjustments too, so we got a big half left.
All right, Bill, thanks.
That's the end of the first half with the score. Houston 16, Baltimore nothing. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.